Coral Pukei added the new skill Power Prolonger, and let me tell you that this skill is a game changer for the dual blades and the charge blade. You guys just gotta have this skill in your builds. In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at the Power Prolonger skill and break down its effects for the dual blades, the charge blade, and the Longsword. You can get Power Prolonger by crafting the Coral Pukei mail and legs, giving you a total of Power Prolonger level 3. It says here that the Power Prolonger affects the dual blades, longsword, and charged blades by extending the duration of their powered up states. The more points of Power Prolonger you have, the longer the extended duration will be. Now, the terminology used to describe the effects of Power Prolonger was very vague. So I performed some tests and compared the different effects of Power Prolonger at different levels. For the dual blades, Power Prolonger decreases the depletion rate of your stamina bar, allowing you to stay in demon mode for much longer. Without Power Prolonger, your demon mode only lasts for 15 seconds, but with level 1 Power Prolonger, your demon mode will last for 17 seconds, so essentially you get an additional 2 seconds. With Power Prolonger level 2, demon mode will now last for 20 seconds, giving you an additional 5 seconds total. With Power Prolonger level 3, demon mode will now last for 23 seconds, giving you an additional 8 seconds total. So the dual blades greatly benefits from the Power Prolonger skill, since the longer you stay in demon mode, the more damage you can output. So I highly suggest having at least Power Prolonger level 2 in your builds, which you can easily get by upgrading the Coral Mail to grade 6. Now if you can fit the Coral Legs into your builds, you can get Power Prolonger level 3 and an extra point in Weakness Exploit, which the dual blades can benefit from both of these skills. But I would prioritize having more offensive skills like Burst and Elemental Damage over 1 extra point of Power Prolonger and Wex. But the Coral Legs will be a useful armor piece if you're planning to build a Weakness Exploit build. For the Charge Blade, Power Prolonger affects the duration of the Red Shield buff. Now, charging up your shield is very important if you want to spam SAEDs and deal a hell of a lot of damage. The longer you have the red shield, the more SAEDs you can do. So when charging up your shield with 5 files, without Power Prolonger, the red shield buff only lasts for 42 seconds. With Power Prolonger level 1, the red shield lasts for 46 seconds. In fact, each additional level of Power Prolonger gives you an additional 4 seconds. With Power Prolonger level 2, the red shield lasts for 50 seconds, and with level 3, it lasts for 54 seconds. But it's a different story when you're charging up your shield with only 3 files. The red shield only lasts for 26 seconds without any Power Prolonger skills. With level 1, it lasts 2 seconds longer at 28 seconds. With Power Prolonger level 2 though, it now lasts for 31 seconds. The red shield lasts 5 seconds longer when you compare it to having no Power Prolonger skills at all. With Power Prolonger level 3, you get 2 more additional seconds, making your shield last for 33 seconds. Now, when you compare it to charging your shield with 5 files versus charging with only 3 files, even with Power Prolonger level 3, charging up your shield with only 3 files still lasts shorter than charging your shield with 5 files without any Power Prolonger skills. So, the moral of the story is, do not charge with only 3 files. It's not worth it. So Power Prolonger level 2 is the sweet spot for the Charge Blade. With each hunt lasting for only 75 seconds, having a red shield for 50 of those precious seconds will be a huge advantage. In those 50 seconds, you can keep spamming SAEDs to your heart's content, without needing to charge up your shield over and over again. Hopefully, by the time 50 seconds are up, you should have completed the hunt. The coral mail will be a must craft if you prefer the SAED playstyle. But if you don't like charging up your shield and prefer using AEDs over SAEDs, then you don't really need Power Prolonger in your builds. For our last weapon on the list, the Longsword, Power Prolonger is pretty much useless. Power Prolonger only extends the duration of the red gauge by a few frames. From a full spirit gauge, if you become passive and do not hit the monster, you only have 5 seconds before you lose the red buff. And the effects of Power Prolonger on the Longsword is negligible, only giving you a few additional milliseconds before you lose your red buff. So Power Prolonger is useless for the Longsword. You can always just hit the monster again and again and be more aggressive to maintain your red gauge. You Longsword mains do not need to mess up your builds to add this Power Prolonger skill. But for the dual blades and the charge blade, Power Prolonger is a must-have. So here are some sample builds you can try for both the dual blades and the charge blade. These builds will try to balance Power Prolonger, Burst, and Elemental skills. This is a Thunder Elemental build that has Thunder Attack 5, Burst 3, and Power Prolonger 2. It uses the Tsitsiaku Helm, Toby Waist, and Zinogre Legs to get Thunder Attack 5, and the Rathian Vambraces and Zinogre Legs to get Burst level 3, and of course you'll need the Coral Mail to get Power Prolonger level 2. A perfect balance between offensive skills and Power Prolonger. The dual blades can utilize Burst easily, but did you know that the charge blade can also use it? The charge blade can activate Burst by using the AED or SAED, further increasing its damage potential. So you can use this build for both the charge blade and the dual blades. Next up, here is a Dragon build with Dragon Attack 5, Burst 2, and Power Prolonger 2. The Burst 2 you get from upgrading the Devil Joe dual blades to grade 8. Now the challenge when making this build is farming enough Devil Joe materials. You need a lot of Devil Joe armor pieces and you need to upgrade the Joe blades to get Burst level 2. So it's going to take a while before I get this build complete and up and running. So Power Prolonger is a great skill to have for the dual blades and the charge blade. It helps the dual blade stay in demon mode for much longer and allows the charge blade to spam more SAEDs for more damage. Now if you're having some trouble using the SAED, then be sure to check out this video right here.